Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Thursday. I got it. I figured it out.
Yes.
I got it right. For you guys that don't know, I recorded with Stu Peters today. I'll be on the Stu Peters show tomorrow at 6 p.m. Talking about foreign influence in American politics and World War III. So that was pretty cool. I got to go off. I went off. I was really upset.
That sounds spicy.
So
Yeah, it was spicy. It was spicy.
I had people about 20 minutes ago tell me and message me and say, Ryan, you should talk Josh out of going on the Stu Peters show.
No, fuck no. That was my second time on the Stu Peters show.
Oh.
No, that wasn't even my first time. That was my second time on the Stu Peters show.
Oh.
No, that wasn't even my first time.
What kind of notification?
But we're still live, and we haven't dropped
Yeah.
any frames. So,
Okay.
if you guys are viewing this, please let me know that the stream's still playing. We may have just dropped on one platform.
Oh.
Who knows?
We
And
might just need to get
Maybe-
thumbs up in the chat for a few episodes.
Yeah, we need. Yeah, just give us. Yeah, because we're
Help
doing
us,
I think
help
it
us.
may be on X
What?
that we dropped.
Oh, our cycle breakers. We need our cycle
Or-
breakers.
oh shit!
Wow.
I got a black screen.
On what?
YouTube.
Not
It should-
good.
Okay, it popped back up.
Okay.
It popped back up.
Yeah, I
so
think
I
it
had
was
the same thing.
I think it was just a brief drop.
All right.
Yep.
Lag, some kind of lag there. If you're on Wi-Fi, turn it off.
I turned it off already.
I'm on one. Hopefully all our streams are still good. Brownwater Squid said YouTube is dropping oddly. Okay, we're at 8.2% and not dropping any frames. 5,000.
It like faded in and out.
So
I
maybe it came
think
back on. If not, I don't know. Maybe it's just recording locally that just messes us up. I don't know why. I'm recording, but we're not dropping any frame.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, as long as
Always the
you're recording.
engaging start of technical.
Yeah, you know,
But yeah,
whatever.
we're good on Rumble though.
Whatever. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on Thursday. We got a
All right.
great show for you guys tonight and a lot to talk about. Before we get into it, go check out toplaps.com. The man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break Cycle, where you can get all kinds of great hats, backpacks, hoodies, leggings. You can get your own couch stream pillow like you see over on the couch there. That custom Break the Cycle pillow for your own couch stream that AJ cuddles with it. All right. And you can get those 10% off by using BETC at checkout for a 10% discount. Or you can join the Patreon Subscribe Star, become a member of the YouTube channel under all of our videos by hitting the join link, where you get into a private Discord server and get his new gear up to 2 weeks before it goes to the general public at like a 30% discount. If he ever comes into the chat and helps us out again, buddy, if you're watching, we need you. Guys, we got a great show for you tonight. Like I said, I'm pretty excited. We got a lot to talk about. There's been a lot going on. Definitely need to talk about top shootout with an acorn. So much weirdness around that. Before we go any further, guys, let's check in with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Ryan Kurt. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing quite well. I am potentially going to get a job offer. I'm the finalist for 2 different positions, so that's very fun. And you know, I would be making more money, which is also very fun. Speaking of money, I want to start to leverage some sponsors. We had our last couple of shows pop off on Rumble. We're doing great on there. We love you, Rumble.
Not
Thank you.
just pop off. We've done over 50,000 views
Yeah.
on our last episode on Rumble, dude.
Yeah, so if anyone has any suggestions for sponsors we might reach out to, please let us know. We would like to get sponsored.
Sure.
And I think
He says
with
great
those kind of
sponsors.
numbers, it's going to be very beneficial for sponsors
Yeah.
to get in front of that many eyeballs.
Okay, absolutely. AJ, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great. And speaking of sponsors, you know, I'm enjoying some Danske mead. Oh. Throw that out there.
That mead company. sponsor for
It's
sure.
delicious. This is ginger. It's made in several other different flavors. And 19% alcohol. Yeah, delicious. It's like a strong wine.
Does it keep you Chinese spy balloon free?
Chinese spy balloon free, unvaxxed, not pumped tonight. No pre-workout. I promise.
Thank God, dude.
I promise.
That was worse than way worse than Ryan off his ADHD meds.
Yeah.
Way worse. I was like, damn, what happened to this guy, man? I never
Got bad.
Your eyes were like red, bro. I was like,
They
holy
were.
shit.
They were.
Yeah.
I was drinking maybe a little too quickly
On the
pre-workout.
Yeah, that was crazy.
after
dude.
lifting too.
That's not absolutely.
So it's like there's not the floodgates are kind of open. I'm just like, I'll say whatever.
Somebody in the chat or Brownwater Scrids suggested ammo, and that's like my ideal sponsor.
Yeah,
If Phoenix would want to sponsor the show, dude, I'd give them some
be great
deals, dude. Guys, so yesterday, Primary Arms would be good too. Yeah, awesome. any of the cool like National Association of Gun Rights would be great. Really good ones.
Yes.
If you're not aware,
Gallagher,
yeah. We've had Will on the show. Will works for them. But he's like, don't ever abbreviate our organization on Twitter. So yesterday I on the show, or actually, was it on the show? Tuesday. No.
Yeah.
Was it Tuesday on the show?
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday on the show.
When I said that I would post at 3:30 yesterday. I would make a post. I didn't post till 4, but I posted at 4 about foreign influence, specifically Israel's influence in our national politics here in the States. It's something that I've been harping on a lot. I believe that we are an occupied country. I really believe that we're an occupied country. Spending $100 billion out the country to other countries at no benefit whatsoever to the American people. You're occupied, dog. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. But I wanted to see how many people would retweet that. And the reason why I wanted to see how many people would retweet that is because every time I make a post about Israel or the money to Israel or Israel Gaza or anything like that, it gets so suppressed, dude. Like so amazingly suppressed. So that specific post had almost 100 retweets. Okay. I made another one an hour later about the Parkland High School anniversary, because the 14th the anniversary. And I made a long post there. It got the same amount of retweets. Okay. Like 92 or something. It has right now 17,000 impressions. Do you know how many of the ones that I asked for the retweets has? Less than 5,000. So some people might say, oh, this is, it's just how the algorithm works. But every single time I mention these things, it gets suppressed. I got 27.5 thousand followers on Twitter. Okay. I had 100 retweets of that post and it got less than 5,000 impressions. That doesn't make any sense at all. 0 sense. And it's not the first time. It's happened several times. And that's why I held the contest. And I said, whoever, there would be a random drawing to have somebody who retweeted this post come on the show. And thankfully, there was some really great people that retweeted it. And I was very excited. And I did the drawing this morning. My friend Josh Parks was the first one chosen. Unfortunately, he didn't get back to me in time. We will reschedule a show with him eventually at some point. The second one I don't know the person. They follow me. And so I tagged them and said they would be next up if Josh didn't respond, and they blocked me.
Oh, so I looked at their profile after you said that.
Yeah.
Total commie scum.
Really?
Total commie scum. Their banner was like protect trans kids and whatever. So
No. Their banner was protect kids, and it was a umbrella with a rainbow going around the umbrella.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
it was a
base thing.
It was protect kids. It was based.
Okay, it might have been based.
Yeah, and so I don't know why they blocked me after I tagged them and said they would be next up, but whatever, it happens. And then our third in line was Mr. Ian Gallagher, who's followed me for a while, and I think we have a bunch of mutuals even on Facebook. So I was excited to have him on. Mr. Ian Gallagher, sir, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, hanging in there.
Good. We're happy to have you, man. Thanks for the retweet. We really appreciate it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to these ideas of liberty and whatnot, man?
Ron Paul. That's where it started. Yeah, very shocking. My grandfather was the Fox News conservative, sitting there watching the debates, and I'm in the back room there, and I hear this guy, and I'm like, man, this guy makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, who is this dude? And I'm like, Grandpa, who's the guy? Who's that? Oh, that's Ron Paul. Yeah, I like him, but he's this and that. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna go look him up on my computer. One thing led to another, and next thing you know, I'm just eating up everything he talks about, everything, as far as like the idea just of liberty and how far off base the Republican conservatives have gone. It dawned on me like, wow, they they've completely lost it on freedom, liberty. Like they don't understand it anymore, or they never did. And here I am, freaking 15 years later, and my whole perspective has changed on a lot of what I thought before, and now I understand. It's like I've been following politics long enough, and it's like, yeah, the GOP never really was about liberty, or and I have a lot of questions about a lot of things now. So he led me kind of down that path to sort of, breaking free of the old thoughts and the ideas I had in my head that were all backwards and wrong.
Yeah, Ron Paul is a hero. Ron Paul is an absolute. Anybody who has a problem, Ron Paul, basically, that's just how. I don't give a shit what. If you're a libertarian, you're not paying your respects to the greatest American statesman of our generation. You're probably not really a libertarian. I mean that. I don't mean that in the not a real libertarian fake sense. I mean you're probably not a real libertarian. You probably have some serious. The man did more for our politically than anybody ever in history of my life. That's for sure. There's, we can go back to the founding fathers and great people like Thomas Paine did so much for our sovereignty as a nation, our freedom. Of course, we've been completely infiltrated by the communists now, fighting to erase all of our great culture and history, freedoms. But somebody asked where I got the Cholo shirt. I actually choloed it up. I got it at Aeropostale, actually. That's where I got this Cholo
gangster.
Aeropostale, yeah, that's where I got this at. Yeah.
Okay, you said it in such a gay way. I didn't recognize
it.
it.
What it is. That's what it's called, Aeropostale.
Aeropostale.
No, it's called Aeropostale.
You're in Iowa. Pronounce it like the damn Iowans. Aeropostale.
That's literally what it is. I don't care. Listen, Ryan.
Which one?
I'm not taking advice. And once again, I'm not taking any opinions on what things are called from a guy whose favorite rapper is XXX Tentacion, dude. Okay. Once again, I don't know how he does that to bring this up, dude.
Knowing how to pronounce words has nothing to do with music taste.
It's not rap. He's talented. It's not rap.
Yeah, it's not rap.
It is.
No, it's not rap.
He has
it's
parts
a style of rap.
He has parts of his music that are explicitly rap, and he has parts of his music that are not rap.
The breakdowns. Got the break.
Yeah,
and a lot of gay. So, anyways, let's get started on this. We got some great topics for you tonight. We're pulling from the definitely are starting with the acorn shooter.
Wildest video I've seen.
One of the craziest videos I've ever seen. And so a cop recently, was it in Florida?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
But yeah, let's say Florida.
Yeah, let's go with Florida. Anyways, he had a perp handcuffed in the backseat of his car. He walked by and he heard something go ka-thunk, and he thought he got hit, and he immediately started he mag dumped into his car.
He ran like behind the vehicle at first because he
rolled,
had his pretend hit and fell and roll, and then got up and ran or crawled or something.
Yeah,
because he started back window of the vehicle.
He emptied it and then ran behind a car for cover.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
bizarre.
He stated in a later report that he had been told by the perp's girlfriend that the perp has a gun and a suppressor. And so when he arrested him, he patted him down, didn't find a gun, didn't find a suppressor.
That was on his brain, though.
Handcuffed him, put him in the car, and then thought somehow that this guy had hid a suppressor in his prison wallet. Okay. I don't know if you guys know how big cans are. They're not little. That's a big prison wallet. Okay. Plus.
He was unarmed. He knew he was unarmed.
So
that guy was freaked out.
So he heard ka-thunk. No window breaks. Nope. He goes running, tumbling, firing all over the place, wildly, calling shots fired. His partner, a woman, of course, pulls out her gun, mag dumps into the car as well. And all the while he's screaming, "I'm hit, I'm hit. I don't know where. I'm hit, I'm hit, I'm hit." Well, come to find out, this dumb motherfucker heard an acorn fall out of the tree and land on top of the car. And then mag dumps into the
whole fucking thing was in his head.
He heard
a noise.
Here's the kicker. This is the craziest part to me. Him and his partner both emptied their magazines, probably at least 10 shots apiece. 20 shots.
If they're regulation, Jesus. If they're police issued weapons, it's like 15 to 17, I believe.
Yeah, it's a
lot. It's a Glock 17 probably.
It's a lot.
Probably 17 or 18.
So let's say 17. Let's say 30 shots fired.
Yeah.
At this vehicle. and they didn't hit the perp once.
They're so fucking
Not
lucky.
one time did they hit this perp. They shot at him 30 times, 30 rounds, and did not hit him. In the back seat, handcuffed, weaponless. Okay.
Think it'll save him money in a lawsuit?
Oh,
I think
dude.
it'll be less because he wasn't hit.
Yeah, because he wasn't
Yeah.
hit. I'm
Probably
sure.
was.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you
Due to
think?
your
Ryan?
incompetence.
I mean, the whole thing's bizarre because the guy just goes, he believes it because he's on the radio like, I think it might have got my vest. I don't know, man. I
He said,
feel weird.
weird. Yeah.
I feel weird. Like,
Well, here's the thing too. So this is what people aren't talking about. Like this guy said, "Well, I was in Afghanistan, right?" And
Yeah.
so like people are like, "Oh, he's got PTSD. Maybe he shouldn't be on the job." And so I looked it up.
That's what I thought before I heard of the acorn.
Yeah, I looked it up.
That's what I thought.
I looked it up. He never saw combat.
Oh boy.
Zero combat at all. Okay. This police officer saw zero combat, and so he was having a panic attack. He was having an anxiety attack. Somehow he thought that this perp had pulled a 6-inch suppressor that's 1.5 inches around or whatever, and a firearm out of his asshole. I mean, I couldn't think of
Yeah.
another way he could have got it after being patted down, and started firing through the window quietly, very quietly, because those suppressors, they're just like the movies, dude.
Yeah.
They're just like the movies.
It's a mouse fart.
Yep.
Yeah, just you can't
Right.
even barely
It's
tell it's there. It's the only thing that's better is just putting a pillow over the gun, right? Because that really deadens the noise. And so he thought he was getting shot at out of this window and goes off rolling. Have you seen this video, Ian?
Yeah, I've seen it. I was laughing the moment he started rolling and then rolling and then rolling, and I'm sitting there like thinking to myself, what is he doing? Like, why does he keep rolling on the ground? Like over and over again.
he got teleported to Dark Souls. That's where he was in his mind.
It was bizarre.
He saw the red health bar and the green energy bar pop up,
boy.
and he was like, "Well, I gotta dump that green energy bar."
I've never
Yeah,
seen it.
I've known people. I've known people who've been arrested for very minor offenses and different things. Some not so minor, but imagine your friend or your family or whatever. It's like they get arrested. The cop freaks out, rolls, falls to the ground, starts rolling around, and the next thing you know, he shoots them and kills them. While they're sitting there handcuffed in a vehicle.
Well, thankfully
you
for the perp. I don't know. Maybe he was a pedophile, and I'm sad that he didn't get it. I don't know anything about the perp. This whole story has overshadowed the perp entirely. We have no idea.
Oh yeah.
I think it was some kind of domestic.
Yeah. Who
situation.
knows?
But
The guy said, I think he said he laid down on the floor and he started praying, and he I guess he like slipped down at the bottom of the seat or something while the shots were being fired.
probably got really
So-
lucky because they have, so they like separate the front seat from the back seat. That is like a
Yeah.
thick layer of like fiberglass. And so it's going through the car plus the fiberglass. If he's not by a window, probably got really lucky.
Pretty, yeah.
And those seats too, like the back seats. I don't know if you've ever seen the back seat of a cop car. They're not. They used to be like a springy bench seat back in like the early '90s and '80s. Now it's like these like
It's like a
molded-
plastic shell.
It's not even plastic. It's like some kind of like really thick, like
Oh, it's a polymer,
rubber
probably.
of
Yeah,
some
yeah.
sort. That has like indents for your hands and shit. It's like molded to people.
There's cutouts right behind your butt,
yeah,
so you can be cuffed, and it's
yeah. Well, and it's also
Quote,
it also like cuts out around people.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I believe that probably is what saved him. Is that he got down on the ground there behind the big fiberglass shield, basically that's got like bulletproof glass up top.
Yeah, if he was shooting at the back of it, where was his partner shooting at it
from the side.
The side,
From the
Jesus.
side, yeah, right through the window. I'm sure.
Lucky to be alive.
Dude, he is. I
It's
just
9
can't.
millimeter though. It's probably 9 millimeter is not gonna go. If it hits the metal part of the car,
Yeah,
it
it's
slows
gonna-
down
it's
quite
gonna
a bit.
slow down a lot. He may have gotten hit.
What are they shooting at? Like, do they know what they're shooting at? Because if you're shooting to stop the threat,
Mhm.
you would think they would be assessing the current progress of stopping the threat.
Yeah, no, they're
But-
completely retarded.
Yeah,
It seems like they're just literally just keep shooting into this vehicle, and apparently they don't even know where the threat is because they completely missed them. So
yeah. I think they said that the police officer that thought he was hit missed the car like 4 or 5 times even. So he's just shooting down the street. Dude.
He just went chimp mode.
Yeah,
And
he
I-
went
I-
full
I never
chimp.
done
He
Yeah.
chimped out entirely, dude.
I don't know if this was a DIE hire, diversity, inclusion, equity hire. Tariq Nasheed called him a white Hispanic. So
Yeah,
Go with that.
Yeah, white. Well, and
So
you
he's
know,
the black guy.
it's really funny. I don't know if you ever look at the crime stats, they include Hispanics in the white.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
inc-
it's
legitimately.
a joke,
They
but it's
will
not a
inclu-
joke. But
I've
Tariq takes
seen-
advantage of that quite a bit.
I've seen images of some individual cases where it's like Nigerian black guys being labeled as white.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. Dude.
Yeah.
They add
Yeah.
the Hispanic population crime rates into the white crime rates. Dude. I'm
Yes.
not kidding you at all. Literally
So-
happens all the time.
Listen, so this is going back a ways, okay? I graduated in 2003 with a criminology degree. So this is like when you actually had to go to the library and look at physical
college. I was
books.
about to say, you're older than me. How'd you
Yeah,
graduate
yeah,
in
I'm old. So-
2003, dude?
But I keep up with the stats. I always look at the DOJ stats, the FBI stats that a lot of people say are fake and gay, right? But I still look at them. Let me tell you, the stats for the past 10 to 15 years are definitely fudged. Plenty
there's no
of documented cases of this. They have fudged the numbers for 20 years, and they're still doing it. And it's it's a woke agenda, right? They want to cover up crimes by people that are non-white, and they want to emphasize crimes by whites and include Hispanics in that number. Middle Eastern, a lot of Middle
still can't catch up.
no, a lot of Middle Eastern guys. They're fudging the numbers.
Yeah.
They can't fudge fast enough.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
to
The
make
crime
the stats match
statistics
up.
are like NBA statistics.
And
White guys
and here's
can't
the thing,
keep
like,
up.
We're not going to say. I mean, it's anybody who hears the 13%, over
Yeah.
60% of the violent crimes, anybody who hears that and has a problem with it is just like
Well,
lying to themselves.
Should we just explain racism on the show? Let's do it.
I mean, that is racist.
Let's explain it.
Legitimately.
So, if you have an average of 53%, okay,
Yeah.
that's a group average. So you can judge a group on that. You can't judge an individual on that. When you start judging the individual based on the group stat, voila, racism.
Well, and you know what's
So
funny
you
is
constantly have to reassess. But after a while, that human nature.
there's one group of people that I assess. I'm okay with that. That is the middle class white liberal one
Yeah.
who says
Yeah.
who says that
The unprotected class.
yeah, they're the most protected class in the United States. No, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about the middle class, like lower middle to middle class liberal white women who live in like gated communities. Okay, here's the thing about them. They are the first people to call you a racist or any of this. They're also the first person to grab their purse a little tighter when they see a guy walking.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not kidding you. They're the ones that are locking the door at the stoplight, bro. You know what I mean? And they're the ones calling everyone racist. Meanwhile, me and all my black friends and my Mexican friends and my white friends that sit around in a circle outside the high school telling racist jokes to each other, right?
Yep.
Are never scared of any other race ever. I mean,
No.
that's just you know what I mean? And so
then later they're watching their boyfriend get stabbed on the street. And they're like,
oh,
and then the cops are like, "What do you look like?" And they're like, "I don't know."
yeah, she wouldn't tell him.
Remember that
It-
chick?
Yeah, she
It must have been the wind.
Wild.
She wouldn't tell him, dude. So Ian, what will you do if a cop ever arrests you? Acorn falls off the roof of the car.
Apparently, you're supposed to get down. If you can, you're supposed to get down in in front of the seats, on the floor of the
Yeah,
vehicle.
stop, drop, and roll.
and
think-
pray.
I think you have a higher. I think you have a higher likelihood of being shot by a police officer hearing a drop on the car than you do of hanging of.
Yes.
Correct. I just at this point I just don't even know these people.
I
These
mean,
cops are crazy.
Well, it depends on how good of shot the cop is. If it's this particular cop,
Yeah, you're fine.
You're
Yeah.
fine.
Just-
Like,
sit there and drink your tea, dude. Everything's good. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, Italy has now passed a bill agreeing with the people of Albania to ship their migrants to Albania. This is wild to me. Now, you guys know that what's her name? Prime Minister last year.
I don't.
oh, I remember people freaking
Georgina.
out because they were calling her fascist.
Yeah, saying that she's a fascist, which is funny because fascism came from Italy.
Yeah.
Anybody know?
It's
Mussolini.
like olive oil.
And so, yeah, just like olive oil, it also came from. I was earlier. I was getting Starbucks for my wife, who's Italian, and she wants the Oleata drink, Starbucks the drink, which has olive oil in it.
That'll just make you shit
Georgia
your pants.
Maloney.
Georgia Maloney, there
Maloney.
it is. Yeah. And so the lady at the Starbucks was, "You actually like this olive oil drink?" I said, "No, it's for my wife who's Italian." Kind of like, but I was making a joke because she actually doesn't eat a lot of olive, and I was supposed to be the olive heir. That my grandfather, his family owned the olive farm that became Bertolli, and sold it way before it became Bertolli.
She's 47 and not horrible.
AJ's over here playing would or wouldn't I to the prime
Smash
minister.
her
of Italy.
past
So anyways,
world leaders.
So the
Oh wait, that's not her.
the
Oh, never. I had the wrong chick.
oh yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Let's see. Are you playing?
Oh, maybe
Smash or
that's
Pass?
her. This is probably a better shot.
Smash or Pass?
That's just like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Italian.
It's not just like growth.
I'm saying he's.
It
you
is.
know,
So
Italians.
so this is catching a lot of fire from the liberal Democrats, whatever the equivalent is in Italy and around the world, calling Albania basically a prison colony, saying that this is the Guantanamo Bay, shipping migrants to Albania. I think that's hilarious. I think that's really funny. And if it is going to be the new Guantanamo Bay, I suggest Fauci, COVID regime, and pretty much every governor.
Is Albania a shithole?
Here.
Ian, do you know anything about Albania? Have you ever been to Albania? Have you ever visited?
No, I have not. I know very little, if anything, about
Yeah.
Albania.
He values his life. He
Yeah.
hasn't been to Albania.
I don't know. Let's look up crime stats in Albania. I bet it's a little better.
Isn't
than
Action Bronson from Albania?
really?
What is an action?
Yeah, Action Bronson.
Let's see some
You don't
crime
know who
stats.
Action Bronson is?
No.
He's a big fat guy.
Wow.
No, I'm a younger millennial. By the
I
way,
thought you listened to rap,
Brown Water Squid, who is giving me shit, calling me a Zoomer. I am a millennial. Thank you very much.
Barely.
So
Okay. there we go.
I know the millennial clothing lines. I wore Aeropostale growing up.
Aeropostale.
Aeropostale
Aeropostale.
and American Eagle were the shit when I was in
Hold on,
middle
hold on
school.
here. Ow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now.
This is the petty shit that I love.
Aeropostale.
Artipo Statalo. Artipo Statalo.
What? No way, dude. No way. Did you hear that, Ian? You didn't hear that, did you?
No, I did not.
Aeropostadinal is what they said.
Artilo Pastilo.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even know how to.
Play that again,
Dude,
dude.
that was insane. Let's do that one more time.
Play that again.
Artipo Statalo.
Artipostadilo.
What is that from?
It's just a
Artipo?
random YouTube video, but it's got to
Statilo.
be.
Artipostadilo.
It's got to be somebody trolling.
Let's find another one.
Oh my fuck.
Everyone in Iowa calls it Aeropostale.
Here we go. How to pronounce Aeropostale.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig,
Gosh,
it
dang it,
cost
Google Fiber.
$70.
I hate
okay, but
the Google
Here we go.
Fiber commercials
You are looking
so
at
much.
Julian's pronunciation guide,
Julian's
where we look at how to pronounce better some of the most mispronounced words in the world, like this other curious word. But how do you say what you're looking for today?
Croissant.
We are looking at how to pronounce in French, aéropostale.
Aeropostale.
Aéropostale.
It's a French word, okay? So you're wrong.
Yeah, we gotta Americanize it and go Aeropostale.
It's Aeropostale is exactly how you,
It
how you
is.
pronounce it in French, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
has the
if you
actual
ha-
genuine pronunciation.
yeah.
That's the
I have,
American
yeah,
English
I have the
pronunciation.
American
Just like you
pronunciation.
dummies you weirdos
I
in the
think it is.
Midwest also pronounce Aldi's.
Aldi.
It's,
It's
Aldi.
it's Aldi.
There is no S at the end of it.
It's Aldi's.
Nobody. I've
There's
never,
no S at the end of it.
I've never.
It's literally
I've
A-
never
I
heard
but-
anybody
but
say
it-
Aldi's.
Aldi, right? But they call it Aldi's.
Yes, I know
'Cause that's where you're going,
No,
yeah.
that's what Midwesterners call it because they
It's
can't-
Aldi.
First of all, they can't
Okay,
spell
hang
and they don't know how to
on,
pronounce
let's see.
shit. It is Aldi, and it's
Another example
from
where we
Germany,
put the S on.
and it's called Aldi. Aldi.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Ryan,
I'm like 70%.
what do you think
German.
of this foreigner defiling our
Our
soil?
proud
You're the guy
German
who-
heritage.
Hey,
telling us how
Pronounce it
Aldi's is
correctly.
pronounced, and we're from here.
There is no S. He's right about that. It's Aldi.
There's no S on that sign, dude.
It's
Anyways.
Aldi. I'll change it.
Okay. We're back to Albania.
Albania is the poorest country in Europe. Surprise.
Okay, in the 18 years period from 2004 to 2021 in Albania, we've calculated an average annual ratio of about 146 crimes per 100,000 inhabitants.
That's a lot.
That's safer than Detroit.
It is?
Yes.
Well, Detroit's literally
The year 2021
Albania.
was marked
Detroit's
by the
Albania.
highest value of this indicator, namely 196 crimes per 100. Now, let's see. Detroit
Maybe we should talk about how those crimes are measured in Albania first.
crime stats. Look at this up. See what we get for Detroit. 66 per 1,000 residents. Now, do 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the other
That's a
one was
lot
per
more.
100,000
That's a
residents.
lot more.
Way more. Like, way so incredibly higher. So, like, Albania is not Guantanamo Bay. Okay.
No.
Albania is not even Detroit, Michigan. Okay. How in the hell are they calling Albania the Guantanamo Bay, like, prison?
I think they're
colony?
just getting away with that, just saying it's a poor country. They're just
Makes
saying
sense.
it's poor.
Doesn't make any sense, dude.
Oh. Well, it's in Cuba.
Who's saying this?
The liberal left of Italy and others around the world are saying that into sending terrorists, I guess, to Guantanamo Bay without due process. But the truth is that in Italy, they've already passed laws that immigrants don't have rights. They don't have the same rights as Italian people. They are totally free to export them to another country.
Yeah.
And Albania has agreed to take them in. So
Interesting.
So here's the deal. You're so fucking stupid, because that's what you are, if you're calling this some kind of like, oh, they're being sent there against their will. They have a country that's willing to take them in, and a country that's not willing to take them in, that is going to take the migrants and export them to the country that is willing to take them in. Okay? Here's the fix for all of this. For all of this. Okay? If you're a migrant, fix your own fucking country. Fix your own country. It's your country that is messed up. There's a reason you're leaving, okay? And I get it. The Middle East is a different story because a lot of that is fucked up because of us,
Yes.
okay? But like South America and shit, I don't, like, you guys have allowed the cartels to take over your countries. You have allowed the socialists to take, in fact, you voted for the socialists. You voted for the fat cat, shithead socialists that are eating while you starve. Okay, don't come here and vote for the same shit. Go ahead.
They also vote down like basically there's a proposal in Mexico not sometime back to basically increase the gun rights essentially, and the populace basically voted it down, and we're like, oh, that's dangerous. It's like, okay, well, enjoy the cartels.
Yeah, and you see what's going on in Salvador, where they finally elected a president that was like, we're gonna fuck the cartels up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care about their rights. They're terrorizing our population, and they've gone from the most dangerous country in South America to one of the safest countries in South America.
Almost overnight.
Almost overnight. And because of that, the president was elected by the largest margin of victory in history for a presidential election.
The 92% approval rate.
Do
And
you
he
guys
likes
think that's all
Bitcoin.
legitimate?
Yes.
And I'm not, because I'm not like a big Bukele fan, but I'm also not like, I'm not like, oh, he's just all evil either.
Right. No. So I don't know if you've seen the rallies that he's put on outside of their palace or whatever.
I have not.
But there's like 1 million people showing up to these.
I
A
think Clint
million
was talking about that on
fucking people, dude.
That's impressive.
I'd never seen
He
anything
was
like
on
it.
Elijah's show. Yeah, Clint Russell was talking about this. He brought up the fact that it was a good speech, and then they turned the camera around, and it's like all militants, like
In the
all
front.
armed men.
In the
Yeah,
front.
he was giving a speech to like an armed brigade.
But there
It
was
was
a
like-
million. There was 1 million people there
I know.
behind him, behind
Yes.
the military.
Yes.
It was insane.
His point was maybe sometimes that's necessary to have a strong man come in and just kind of clean house.
Yeah.
But obviously, we all know in this room, like innocent people were probably swept up in that.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You know what I mean? There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But do the ends justify the means?
It wasn't
You
like
know?
it wasn't
I don't
like
know.
it wasn't like the Filipino president
No.
who was just like
No.
executing
Just
drug
dragnet it. You
users
just
in the
dragnet
middle of the
people.
street, dude. You know what I mean?
You smoke pot?
Yeah.
Bang.
Bam, on the spot, dude. They were like
Yeah.
executing. Yeah, these guys actually use military operations to go after the cartels.
Yeah.
So, like that's your own country. You know what I mean? And like, so it's, I feel like I don't want any innocent people to die ever. I don't think innocent people should have to die. Period. Plain and simple. I want that clear. But if a couple did in these skirmishes, we don't have the stats on that. We'll never have the stats. It's a lot less bad than a country like ours going to the Middle East and killing 100,000 Iraqi children. You know what I mean?
Bombing from the air.
Yeah, they're actually at war with people that are actively occupying their country. Okay?
Right.
Does that make sense? What do you think, Ian?
It does. I tend to agree. I mean, it's as far as the moral comparison there, yeah. I mean, yeah, just bombing, indiscriminately hundreds of thousands of people abroad as opposed to rounding up, gang members and possibly innocent people getting caught up. That's definitely not near as bad. So I'd have to agree on that.
I think it's crazy. But like, let's get back to the original. They went from the most dangerous country in South America to
Mhm.
safest country. And
Right.
he won by such a large margin, it couldn't have been fixed.
And what didn't they went to Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
So they have Berlin, El Salvador. It's a city, like a whole territory in Salvador that is now Bitcoin Mecca, basically.
Okay.
We did look up the stats the other day because I didn't know how many people were.
Curious how that's going.
20% of businesses in El Salvador now accept Bitcoin. 12% of the population. Now that might sound like a very small number.
Oh, it's huge.
Huge, dude. Huge number. And so when the talking heads and the pundits would like to say, they're only 12% of the population is using that as kind of like a cudgel against Bitcoin, saying, it's not really working because they're only 12%, but 12% would be damn near mass adoption in the United States if 12% of the
If
population.
12% of the population were using fentanyl, you'd have a very different attitude.
Well, it's happening in LA.
Quick review on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
As of today,
Over 50 grand now.
where are we at? February 15th. 52,172. Gone up 117% in the past year.
That is apt. That's crazy.
I owned
I'm
it
very
when
happy
I
to
paid
have-
26. I paid when it was 26. I'm really kicking mine.
26,000?
I sold out. I sold mine.
26,000.
yeah.
I bought when it was $19.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hold
it.
I bought it I started investing. It was like 66,000 when I started
Oh,
investing.
you were at the high.
But I've been doing it consistently.
Just
So I've probably gotten put $1,000 in when it was under 25.
I put money.
He's a sat
I put
stacker.
money in every page.
I'm containing myself right now. I'm livid that I've lost potential money that I didn't invest in. So I think I'm gonna buy in again and start
It's not too
stacking.
late. Bitcoin will be $1 million.
But I want to do a big chunk. Is that dumb, or should I just do small amounts?
Bitcoin's going to be $1 million.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna go down
No.
to
Bitcoin's
$19.
going to be $1 million, dude. I fully believe that.
It will
$1
continue
million
to
fiat. It'll be
fluctuate
worth $1 million
up
fiat.
and down.
Would you flip your 401k into it?
I would personally. Yeah. I'm
Definitely
not telling
thinking
anybody
about
else
it.
to do it, but
I'm definitely
I would
thinking
be
about
totally
it.
fine with it. What do you think, Ian? Where do you stand on Bitcoin, buddy?
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I mean, I'm still, that conspiracy mind is like, does the NSA have a backdoor to it? And I guess you could argue that no, because our own, Federal Reserve is talking about, this CBDC, I think it's called, basically the electronic dollar. If they had a backdoor, they wouldn't need to do that. And then, I mean, there was the case of Ross Ulbricht, which, he had some Bitcoins and some of the DEA agents stole them, and then they got prosecuted. And then I don't even know what happened to it after that. So I don't know. I haven't, unfortunately, I'm in tech. I actually work in technology. I'm a software developer. I haven't dug in deep enough to really understand the entirety of the security behind it, and whether or not there's a backdoor there, who's this Katoshi guy, and You know, it's
Satoshi.
like there's a lot of questions I have.
Yeah.
So,
Who
sorry,
is Satoshi?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
he a
Nobody
Fed?
knows. Nobody knows who's
Was Satoshi Nakamoto a Fed?
Joe Biden.
I don't know. Yeah, and maybe to my demise, you know, maybe I'm the one guy that's like, you know, poor and subservient to everybody with Bitcoin, you know, 20 years from now.
Yeah, well,
That'll be us, dude. I'll be right next year.
everybody should have Bitcoin. If you haven't bought Bitcoin yet, go buy some Bitcoin. You
Yes.
can buy 0.700
I mean-
Satoshis. It's fine.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I
I was
would-
buying like $100 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sold on it when I started buying. I think it was like after an inauguration speech by Joe Biden. That's after I listen to that man talk, I tend to make more rash decisions.
That'll happen.
Seriously, I bought a gun after one of his speeches. I was like, "Oh, this country's going into
Bless
civil
you.
war." Do
Bless you.
you guys remember our episode where we went over the State of the Union?
Yes.
I'm still livid about the shit he said in that. That was some of the dumbest, just absolute oblivious nonsense that I have ever heard from anyone in charge of anything.
Hey now, Jack. Hold up, Jack.
Come on, man. You know the
Come on,
thing.
man. You ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden, dude.
Can you believe
Yeah.
that flew? I still can't believe that flew.
I can't believe that flew either.
I cannot.
The same guy
fucking
who
believe
the
it.
same guy who told America he didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial
Yeah, in a
jungle,
racial
dude.
jungle.
Literally on
Like-
on national television.
The grab the pussy thing is horrible. I get it, and it's it's women voters, but dude, you don't vote for Joe Biden. You ain't black.
Jack.
I don't know.
That flew just fine for the liberals. They don't care.
Well,
They're
it
such
was-
hypocrites,
if-
dude. It's insane to me.
Wasn't the quote like, "If you don't know the difference between me and black"?
No, it was if you don't vote
No.
for me, you
If
ain't
you
black.
don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black.
Yeah, he literally said that, dude. He said that. He said that.
But you're right. That's a correct quote too. He also said that.
Yeah, but are we really surprised by anything that Joe Biden says like
No.
at this point?
No,
You know, I'm just surprised if I can understand it at this point.
it's so bad.
I
We've gotten
showed
so
you.
Were
bad.
we talking before the show? Yeah, we were talking before the show about it. I'll link it. I think I linked it on my X account earlier, X Twitter.
Yeah.
I
Joe
showed-
Biden AI singing "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
Oh, I gotta see that.
And it's a compilation of all his dumb shit and bumping into walls and shaking hands with ghosts. And when you watch it, you're laughing, and you're vacillating between laughing and feeling fucking horrible for this guy.
Yeah, it's elder abuse.
Like,
it's elder
he's-
abuse at this
They probably just leave him alone in like a kind of a cage or some sort of a tent,
Yeah,
maybe.
some sort of like oval.
And they give him
office
they turn
or
all the lights out,
something
like,
where
here's
they-
your flashlight, Joe.
It's
You
bad.
know?
It's bad. All right, guys.
I showed you the video of him at a brewery. The
Yes.
beautiful the beer brewed here brewed here.
bad. He's bad, dude. He's bad. I don't know. It's not. I don't know if that's as bad as Michael Rechtenwald going on Timcast and forgetting Clint's name as his.
Yo, that
You
was
guys catch that?
weird.
Did you see that, Ian?
Early onset.
I didn't catch that.
So Rechtenwald recently was on Timcast for his second time. I've been on 3 times. I'll probably go on again.
I watched him for about 3.5 minutes
Yeah.
before I turned it off.
And they asked him, what about your VP pick? Who's your VP pick? And he said, oh, it's the guy. The caucus has picked him. And then he goes, and then I know for a fact, dude, that Phil leaned over and went, Russell. And he goes, oh, Clint Russell, who's a good friend of mine, by the way. I said, I don't know, dude. I don't know about you, but Clint is actually a good friend of mine. I love that guy to death. He's like, I love him to death, dude. Right. And I would never forget his name on, the third largest alternative media show in the world. Right. Like, what the fuck, dude? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was dying laughing. It was kind of like, I don't like, I'm not a fan of his presidential run. Okay. I think
No.
he's a great guy. I think he's got a lot of really good ideas. He's very boring. I think he's kind of phoning it in at this point. And I think he's been lied to by a lot of people.
Yep.
I think people have told him, oh, it's going to be your shoo-in. You have no problem. Everybody's going to love you. And then he got attacked. He's been canceled or whatever. I don't know how much of that I believe, but I feel bad for the guy as well. You know what I mean? Because I know that first $25,000 on his campaign came from him. No, it did.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay.
And for libertarian, we're not, libertarians. I'm sure there's some out there, but the majority of them aren't like these, politicians plush with like sponsors and funds and stuff. That's just that's not the way it works in the libertarian world.
No, we're still. I mean, this campaign has been very popular with libertarians. My campaign, and we're still struggling financially to get the campaign going.
Yeah.
And
That sucks.
and that's just how it works, dude. Like this is
Yeah.
libertarian.
We're not the
politics.
money bags party.
No, we're not the money
unfortunately.
bags. We're up against financial juggernauts, dude.
Yeah.
Like the Leviathan, right? And
Well,
but libertarians don't want to come off their wallets, dude.
Yeah, you're in it for like I mean, I think I've seen you say this, so I don't think that it's any secret. But like you're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna get out there and spread the message, like regardless of where the cards lay. Like my goal is spread the message, liberty, change people's minds. Is that would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah,
or-
absolutely. And I've said several times that the presidential for a libertarian is literally just a 50 state media tour. That's all it is. All it is.
Okay.
You're going out and trying to wake people up and opt out of this. Okay? And that's
Yeah.
why, that's why I talk about all kinds of things that the other presidential candidates won't talk about, like the foreign influence in American politics, because you're not going to hear these guys talk about that because they're all going to put on the tiny hat and go kiss and take money from APAC. I'm not one of those. In fact, I'm probably the only candidate when I'm on the ballot in 50 states after May, because I will be on the ballot in at least 49. I will be the only candidate running in the United States today that will not take foreign money at all, will not take money from APAC, will not put on the small hat, the tiny hat, and kiss the wall and pledge allegiance to other nations. I'm the only candidate that will be on the ballot that will do that. So I get to go and talk about that. I get to go and talk about foreign influence in politics. I get to go talk about Title 40, the Social Security Act, how it's tearing families apart by design. I get to talk about all these things. The other candidates aren't going to talk about that shit.
I just pictured you in a daishiki, like kneeling
Kneeling in the hall. Like, for
I pictured him in a top hat,
Like some tribal music.
like
playing.
the least small hat.
I'm gonna put a 10-gallon hat on.
The
You put the tiny hat on, and then it's me with a picture of a
The
10-gallon.
Doug Dimmadome hat.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Putin said, talking about Biden. Putin says a Biden presidency is better for Russia than a Trump one.
Agree.
Isn't that crazy? After all this like Trump collusion shit, Putin
Yeah.
comes out and says a Biden presidency would actually be Russia than Trump.
And he knows Biden is the one funneling money directly to his adversary.
to Ukraine, yeah.
So that tells you how much he thinks about Joe Biden.
So Stu Peters seems to think that the $60 billion of that bill was going to Ukraine and 14 was going to Israel. I think it was the other way around. I thought it was 60.
No, I think you're wrong. I think
Is
I
it
listened to
with
the
two,
show
right?
again.
Yeah.
I think you just had it reversed.
Okay, so I
It's
reversed it.
The
then.
smaller amounts go.
Israel.
Yeah.
No, I thought the 60.
I think the
billion was
60 is
Israel.
going to Ukraine,
Okay.
and the 18 or whatever is going to Israel. Is that
Well,
right?
here's the deal.
But this hasn't gone through yet, has it?
It passed the Senate.
No. Yeah, but it's got a.
It already passed Congress and the Senate. So
You
I don't-
guys didn't read the 1,000-page bill?
I did actually.
What
I
was I
don't know if you
listening
guys
to
are familiar
today?
with it.
Where
I
they
also
tried
I'm
read.
to-
impressed.
I also
I'm
read.
impressed.
I also
I read the
the
Cliff
the
Notes.
vast majority of the border safety. Well,
Yeah.
and that's how I found. That's how I found the clause in there, the provision that
Mhm.
basically gives the right to argue issue of the border directly to the DC court. They hid that in there, and so all of the arguments made about the border from now on would be taken out of the court. I found that in there and put it out on the site, and
Grief,
Timcast
man.
put it
Yeah.
out.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so so this is crazy to think about. Yeah, Biden has been working with Ukraine for a long time. He was working with Ukraine before he was the president. We know that the 10% for the big guy is a real thing. We know that Hunter Biden's laptop probably would have involved a lot of proof of shady dealings with Ukraine between Joe Biden actually taking funds from there. We know that some of that money that's going over there was getting funneled back through Sam Bankman-Fried as a money laundering. And we know that Sam Bankman-Fried has been a money launderer basically for the DNC and the RNC. And that's why he is not going to jail, despite the fact that he did something that put Madoff in prison. You know what I mean? And so let's read this. A Joe Biden presidency would be better for Russia than Donald Trump won. Russian President Vladimir Putin told pro-Kremlin journalist Pavel Zarubin in an on-camera interview Wednesday. Asked by Zarubin about the upcoming U.S. presidential election, Putin said Biden would be better for Russia because he is a more experienced person. He is predictable. He is a politician. What does that
Interesting.
mean? What do you think that means, Ian?
Manipulate. That's what that
You
means.
think it's because he can be manipulated?
Oh,
What do
yeah.
you think, Ian?
I think it means. I think he's saying he won't use nukes against.
Oh, what do you think? Ask Ian again.
Oh yeah, so I've been reading things saying that a lot of this money that we're like, oh, it goes to Ukraine. A lot of this money I hear is now. Don't get me wrong, it's in some probably an indirect way, it's funding some of that stuff. But from what I've been reading, apparently some of these funds are actually going to like domestic weapons producers, the military industrial complex.
That's not
That-
at all.
That's true. I'm trying to look that up. You're exactly right,
That's
Ian.
not at all surprising.
I heard through a mutual aid group of mine that
So
apparently that's why Grassley signed it.
Oh,
so
that doesn't make
let's
sense.
what he said.
hypothetically, if that's true, like how much of that is actually affecting the war, and is that why Putin's like, I don't give a crap, like you guys are just printing money while I'm selling energy to Europe, and I'm making cash. He's like perfect. I like Biden. I don't know, man. I mean, I could see Trump being like, just like, calling up, some military leader and being like, hey, go over there and bomb, go over there and bomb, just as a warning, bomb this place and, on the border or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, Trump's a wild card when it comes. Didn't start any new. I have to bring up that he did expand Syria in ways which was not. So when people are
Right.
like, "Oh, he didn't start any wars," I'm like, "Yeah, but he expanded something that really fucking sucked for America." But he didn't start any new wars. But he's still a wild card because he was the one that basically, when he was in office, told Iran like, "Get fucked, we're killing your top military general," and he did.
Yeah.
He literally drone bombed him in Iraq and killed, Salami, right?
Right.
Like legitimately, he did
Mhm.
that. It was one of the top military or security specialists in Iran, and Iran did not go to war with us.
Yeah. I remember I had a Discord friend who lived in Iran when that happened, and just like a regular dude, they were like, "Yeah, we don't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like we don't care about that
They
guy."
don't care. Like the
regular
population didn't
people.
care. But the
Mhm.
the government of Iran sure as fuck cared. That was like, he was like their years long security guy. I mean, that was the guy, right? Like that was one of their biggest names when it came to military. And I mean, I'm telling you, dude, like he just pressed the button, sent the fucking drone, and took him right out like it was nothing in Iraq.
Right. Right.
Like, that's a wild card, man. That guy's a wild card, dude. Straight up.
Yeah,
I think
and-
he's respected for that. By the way, I think warlords, the fucking assholes, respect that because they're like, dude, the real deal. He'll actually do it. He will actually send the fucking
Ian, you got
SEALs to
some?
get
You
me.
got some?
Oh no, I'll be honest. Like I don't know. I haven't been following domestic, like foreign pulse. Like I haven't been following like foreign geopolitics as in depth as I used to at one time. So I don't know truly how much of a threat Iran was at the time, or whether or not that it was even worth us even being concerned about. So it's like, I don't know, what did that do?
The
did
crazy
that
thing
stop
about
something?
Iran is Iran has never been.
That's my opinion, but
That's the
yeah.
craziest part about all this. And I made a video about this 2020 because in 2020 we were talking about actually being talked about it.
You showed pictures from the 70s, right?
Yeah. Well, no, from the 50s.
50s.
I made a
even,
video
yeah.
about the 50s because in 1950s,
Mm,
Iran basically
Yeah.
had an uprising, and they voted in their first democratic elections. They voted for Mohammad Mossadegh to become their prime minister. He was the first democratically elected prime minister. He ousted the and became the leader of Iran. Well, he decided, this country, Iran, that has just been basically given barrels, Britain in decades. He
Yep.
decided that he was going to nationalize the oil, beneficial to the people of Iran. He was no longer going to give them this prorated, like terribly cheap oil anymore. And so what did they do? Britain's MI6, IA, of course, got together and went in and created civil unrest in Iran. They performed a coup to remove the democratically elected prime minister. Many of his family members arrested him, and then went back in. And prior to this happening, they were on their way to being a Western country. They had Chevy Bel Air, top hats, fedoras, and suits the women were wearing. Neon signs places. I mean, it was really, they were on their way to being like a Western culture. Honest to God.
It's weird to see those pictures.
It's really weird when you see those
And to
pictures.
see it
because
now.
now you see
Yeah.
Iran and everyone have their head covered. Signs are all bars or
What
dance
time
clubs or
period?
stuff.
What time period was this when
The
they're
50s.
when they're becoming? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah,
40s and 50s.
and they were becoming kind of westernized. You say in the 1950s?
Totally. Dude.
When did it go back? When did they make the? When does it go back to burkas?
1954.
I thought in
They
the
started-
70s.
No, 1954. Took out Muhammad. You know, there was I don't know if you guys were familiar, there was a time, I think in the 70s or the 80s, when the United States military shot one of Iran's passenger planes out of the sky. You know
Oh
that?
man,
Killed 60 children.
Whoops.
Oops, our
Yeah.
bad. But Iran's never been a threat to us. We were the threat to Iran, and we still are. And Russia was a threat to Iran, and Iran was a threat to Russia. They were at war against each other for quite some time.
Yo, this says 1979.
What?
It says April 1st, 1979, Iran officially became the Islamic Republic. I mean, I don't know about their cultural practices before that, but I swear I saw a video from the 70s where it was like chicks wearing skirts and they were just hanging out, having a
I
great
don't know.
time.
Maybe the Shah was a little bit. Mohammad Mossadegh died in 19. Prime Minister. Prior to that, all the prime ministers had been like part of the Shah. They were not democratic. Passed down. It was like passed down theocracy. And after Mohammad Mossadegh left, back to the Shah. Maybe the Muslim might have taken over prior to that. They were not democratic. I believe that Mohammad
Yeah,
Mossadegh was
it's,
the only Democrat.
no, wasn't the Shah kind of kind of Western in his sort of approach, and like he wasn't like
It wasn't nearly as bad as what. But he was more like a monarchy, right? Like it was kind of more like a monarchy. Now it's a straight up like despotic state, really. But they still had some despotism, and it was still. I mean, the Shah was kind of a pushover to America and Britain, right? You're going to give us your oil, take you out, and he okay, well, whatever, that's fine, yeah, take it. That's how the Shah was.
we pretty much installed him. I
Put
mean,
him back in. I mean, so that whole thing was about oil too.
we should have never told them about the oil, dude.
Crazy to me. Dude. So, anyways, Putin knows that Biden would be easier adversary, I believe.
Oh yeah.
In a Trump presidency. He's predictable. He said he's predictable, which I think is true. But at this point, he's definitely not running the foreign policy of the United States at all. They do not allow him.
What
There's
is
no
he
way.
running?
Huh?
What is he running? Like the McDonald's ice cream machine, maybe?
Yeah, that's it, dude. Yeah, it's good. It's down again.
He likes
you know?
mint chocolate chip, okay?
Yeah, he does. That's I brought that up on the show before about the sun. How when I worked in care, when the memory patients would start to sundown and give them ice cream every single time they give them ice cream, and they'd settle down and go eat their ice cream and forget about the sundowning. The sun would go down. That's what they're doing to Joe Biden with ice cream. Dude. I'm telling you right now, it's like nurses know about this. This is like an absolutely like normal thing for nurses to do. And they're doing this. They're giving they're giving him ice cream.
it doesn't sound very healthy.
Oh,
They're
you know, when you're on, when
they're
you're in that,
they're dementia patients.
his
Like,
brain-
who cares about their blood sugar at that point?
They have cut open his skull, operated on his brain, and put the skull back, sewed it back up.
What?
That's you didn't know about that, Ryan?
What?
Yes. He's had
No.
brain surgery, invasive brain surgery. The doctors at the time said, "Hey, listen, surgery went great. We got it taken care of, but we don't know about the long-term effects of this."
Like,
I vaguely
how
recall
old
that.
was
I'd
he when this
forgotten.
happened?
How old was he?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I've been keeping an eye on the Rumble chat because
yeah, it doesn't show up in our Rumble chat. Does not.
well,
Stream chat.
we have one message, and it is a beauty.
Oh, is it?
It is an
hear it.
absolute beauty.
Does it say I'm a 14-year-old edgelord?
Dynamite emojis. Sound of Freedom star Jim Caviezel.
Caviezel.
Or quote unquote
Hey,
Jesus
it's Caviezel.
Caviezel. or quote unquote Jesus as America remembers him. Mind you, this is in all caps. Just leaked an intimate video of Barack and Michelle Obama with a child. And then a link.
Nice.
Big Mike.
Don't click that link, buddy.
Big Mike.
Yeah,
Do
whatever
not
you
click
do,
yeah,
that
do
not
not
link.
click that link, but the
Okay.
Rumble comments hit different.
Yeah, they do hit different. Rumble's wild.
Okay,
wild.
how old's Joe Biden? 160?
No, I think it's
87?
Okay, it was in
87 or
1988. So you do math live on TV, right?
So like
probably in
50
his
something.
30s.
So whatever, he had brain. What Joe Biden learned from his life-threatening brain aneurysms.
Wait.
fucking plural.
Oh shit.
Yeah. How is this man alive with after
The
having
then
multiple
Delaware senator
aneurysms?
had bowed out of the 1988 presidential race after questions were raised about the lack of attribution. He bowed out of a presidential race because of brain aneurysms. What Democrat knows that?
Wow.
Raise
He
your
was
hand if you're a
running for
Democrat.
president.
Raise your hand if you're a Democrat and you know that Joe Biden had his skull opened, his brain punched around with a scalpel, and then his brain put in his skull cap put back in place and sewed up. And they're like, "Don't worry about it. It's all fine."
88 was the year that Ron Paul ran as a libertarian for president. 1980. A lot of people don't know that. That's when he was on the Morton Downey Jr. show and stuff. He was an actual libertarian for the Libertarian Party. This was only 17 years. Pretty cool. Guys, Odie lunar mission takes off, aiming for historic U.S. moon landing. First moon landing for the first time in 5 decades. Listen, Top Lobster, I know you're gonna have some stuff. Come on the show and talk about it. Look,
Yeah, CGI's way better.
the
now.
CGI is much better these days. Okay, you don't have to just go into the Arizona desert and record this fake moon landing anymore.
Come on!
Dude, hey, shut up. Listen, I don't technically.
I'm doing it just to bother you, AJ.
I'm not. I don't. I have my reservations about us going to the moon, and I tell you why. Because at the same time we were trying to go to the moon,
Yeah.
Russia was trying to go to the moon.
So what?
Hold on. And we absolutely had to, at least in the face of the public, beat Russia to the moon. Now, I'm not saying we haven't been to the moon
They
since.
put a
then.
dog in space, people. Russia
Listen,
put a dog
listen,
in space. Big
listen,
fucking deal.
Listen. I am not saying one way or the other that we haven't been to the moon since then. But I do not believe that the original moon landing was real.
It was real.
I do not believe
And
that.
the evidence for that is
There's a lot. Have you watched the movie? Have you watched the documentary?
okay,
on this?
I'm not going to be like, I've seen everything. I'm not going to say that.
Have you
I've
watched the
seen a
documentary about it?
plethora
There's a really
of
good documentary.
moon landing conspiracy videos.
There's a really good.
Okay.
There's a really
There's
good documentary.
three
about
main
it.
things. The fucking pictures they took. Okay? Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Watch me nail the conspiracy argument here. 1, the pictures.
Yeah.
2,
What about the pictures? Wait,
communications.
what about the pictures?
We'll say communications.
What about the pictures?
Something about there's a watermark or a fucking crosshair or something that you aim the camera with, and that shows up in front of him and it should be behind him, or vice versa, or some shit. There's some kind of like
Well, there's several
depth
aspects.
of field.
There's
issue.
several aspects of the pictures that have been scrutinized. One, their footsteps, footprints. Two, the flag.
What about the
the
footprints?
flag waving because there is no.
The flag
wind?
doesn't wave. There's a vacuum
Hold
of
on,
space.
hold
It
on,
does not
hold
wave.
on,
There's
hold on,
slight
hold on.
gravity.
Let me finish, dude.
Okay.
The fact that there's no shadows at all, 0 shadows.
There's shadows everywhere.
No, there's not. There's no shadow.
You could Google- it's a Google
I've watched.
search away.
I've looked at the pictures, dude. I've seen them. I've seen them a million times.
Okay.
There are no shadows.
You know
being
it's the
cast.
sun side of the moon, right?
Huh?
You know it's the sun side of the moon. The moon only faces one direction. It's us. Okay. When you look up and see the moon, you've seen the same fucking moon your entire life.
Sure.
It spins at the same rate it's revolving around us. We never see the dark side of the moon.
Sure.
Okay. It's what makes space travel there possible. If you're on the dark side, you're fucked. You can't have any telemetry. All right.
Sure.
So
there'd be shadows.
yes, there's a lot of
There should
sunlight.
be shadows.
The sunlight is reflecting off the moon,
Okay.
reflecting off the moon. So the light's actually coming up at you. So yeah, the shadows are weird, but there are shadows. There are shadows.
There aren't shadows.
Yes,
there are
there
not
are.
shadows in those pictures. No, there's not.
I'll pull it up right now.
Pull them up.
Okay, I got
Go
it.
ahead. Also, what about the Van Allen radiation belt? That's the other.
Yes.
That's the other part that people
You are correct. There's a hella radiation.
Super bad
okay?
radiation.
Hella. It's bad.
Yeah.
They go out of communication. There's no radio communication. Okay. But it's not enough to kill you, number one. It is enough that if you did it frequently enough, you would have definitely long-term health effects. But you pass through it and you come back, it was a measured risk. And at the time that they did that, the radiation was at its lowest point. It ebbs and flows, and it was at its lowest point. They didn't plan it that way. It was just serendipity that happened that way. So they did happen to have very good radio communications, and there was little to no radiation compared to what you normally have.
Yeah, I still think
It was the same as a chest X-ray.
I still think it's extremely fishy. The whole thing was extremely.
So-
I do believe that, and I do believe that Stanley Kubrick put hat tips to movies like The Shining and other movies that he did. Hat tips.
You're not saying the demonstration video where they were underwater to test stuff out was passed off as a real video, and they're like, "Look, it's fake because they're underwater," or they're using
No,
strings.
I'm not.
Yeah, there's some conspiracy theorists that pass off a demonstration video that NASA put out,
Yeah.
showing how it works.
No, that has nothing to do. You should watch I'll find the documentary for you. I can't remember the name of it. but
So-
it blew my
I got
mind.
it. I got it.
I believe
So
that we
here's the moon
landed
landing.
on the moon.
Here's the moon landing picture. Just Google lunar landing. You can see the shadow in behind him, probably from the lander. There's a leg of the lander, and then you can see the shadow right behind him.
Oh yeah, look. Yeah, that wasn't put in afterwards with the the in full color American flag,
Okay.
dude.
So the goalposts
Come on,
have
dude.
moved.
Look
The
at the
goalposts
picture
have
you're
moved.
using.
First, there's no shadows.
Look at the
Now
picture you're using.
there are shadows there, but they're fake.
Well, no, look at the picture you're using.
Okay.
You literally have that flag is in full color, bro.
Okay. Yes. The
Okay.
flag-
Can you-
no, the whole
been
image is in
doctored.
color. The whole image is in color. The whole image is
Can
in
you
color.
see stars in the background?
No.
You cannot. No, you cannot.
Why is there no stars
cannot.
in the background?
Okay, I can explain this. So when you're standing out in the daytime, do you see stars?
Sometimes.
So
you can see
when
some
you're
of them, yeah.
standing
You
on the
definitely
surface
see
of the
some
moon,
star.
Yeah.
the sun is shining on you. The reason that this guy is in light, it's the light from the sun. It's a sunny day on the moon. You're not going to see stars.
How about no dust?
And you can see
coming
the
up?
earth in the
How
background.
about no dust coming up with the footsteps? even
Yes,
though
it's
there's
a
no-
light powdery substance. You can hear him talk about it when he gets off the lander and takes the first steps. He goes, I'm only sinking down a couple of inches, but that first couple inches is a fine sand, almost a powder.
Yeah, but there's no gravity and it doesn't fly.
There is gravity. It's a
Well,
third of our
well,
gravity.
So a
About a
lot of the
third.
reflectivity.
Yeah, there is gravity.
from-
Or no,
Hold on.
yeah, third or sixth.
Hold on, let our guest talk.
a lot of the reflectivity from the sun on the earth, right, reflects off of our atmosphere. That's why you can't see the stars. It's not because the sun is there, like on the surface. If we had no atmosphere here, you would more likely be able to see the stars, right? Because there's no atmosphere, so you wouldn't have the light
I
from
don't
the
know.
sun reflecting
don't
off the
know.
atmosphere.
I just want to be clear one more time. It's not that I don't believe we've been to the moon now. I'm skeptical.
What do you mean now?
But I don't believe that the original moon.
You don't think the
believe it.
1969 first lunar landing
Yes.
was real?
I believe that it was fake.
So-
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
believe it was
think
fake.
I think the 1969 landing was real, but I think there are elements that are very fluffed up.
I think it was faked so that
Oh, wow.
we could claim that we beat.
I think it was probably the most monumental scientific feat that's ever been performed.
No way.
I would say maybe
There's so many.
Hubble Space Telescope is pretty good. That was pretty fucking cool too. But yeah, Skylab and the International Space Station, I'd put that maybe a little bit above the lunar landing. But the lunar landing at that time in history, the technology we had and the mathematics we had to do by fucking hand to do this shit because nobody had ever done it is fucking incredible. One of the most amazing feats we've ever achieved as a country.
AJ swallowed
what I
the
think.
entire blue
Yeah,
pill.
I fucking love it. Yeah,
Just
I
kidding.
think it's amazing. Those guys were so fucking brave. They knew almost 100% they would die. Almost 100% you're not coming back. And they're like, fuck it. Let's do it. Strap me into a fucking rocket and send me out of Earth's gravity. And I'm crossing my fingers. I'll come back to my family. That, dude, fake or not, if you say they didn't land on the moon, even going into outer fucking space at that time was solid steel balls.
Doesn't that sound
The
like
Russians sent a
joining the
dog, guys.
military?
They sent a dog,
Getting,
and then they
like,
sent
like-
Yuri. Yuri did a fucking orbit and then came back. Ooh. Pussies.
No, the cool
Russians are pussies.
The best scientific achievement was sending Tesla in space, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
With the fake dummy. And they got the camera going 24/7.
The aliens are like,
You could
what
watch
the
space.
fuck
You
is
could watch
this?
space. You could just log in and watch space live. That was
Yeah.
pretty, pretty good for them. You think the moon landing was real? The original moon landing, Ian?
I'm very skeptical. I'm kind of leaning that it wasn't real. I mean, there's just too much sketchy stuff that NASA can't seem to figure out, and they lost everything apparently, and it's just weird, man.
I think there is a generational gap.
And he like gives these really strange answers to oh yeah, we did. Oh no, we're never going back there. We can't go there.
2025, we'll be back there and we'll take pictures of the footprints.
Who's the guy that would accost Buzz Aldrin stuff all the time with?
Buzz Aldrin punched a guy.
No, it was
What would be?
No, it's because the guy would show up with the Bible and say, "Swear on this Bible that you stepped on the moon," and he wouldn't do it.
No,
you seen that?
No, the guy showed up and called him a fraud. Said you never did it, and Buzz Aldrin punched him in the face.
That's because that's the same guy that had accosted him for the last 2 decades with a Bible.
Yeah, the guy's an asshole. That guy's an
I
asshole.
said, just swear on the Bible that you went there. Just swear. That's all I'm asking you to do. Buzz is a Christian. Just swear on the Bible that you've been there. And he wouldn't do it. Yes, look it up.
Is he really a Christian?
Maybe.
Yes, well, supposedly.
I don't know. But tell me the motivation for an old 80-year-old man that didn't land on the moon. If someone came up and said you didn't land on the moon, he would punch them in the face.
Yeah.
50 years later?
Yeah. What if they told you?
Why would you do that?
What if they told you, AJ? If they told you, if you ever let them know that we didn't go to the moon, we'll kill your family. What if they told you that?
What's the motivation?
No, just listen.
I don't understand.
Why do you believe all?
It's a pissing contest with the Russians,
AJ,
and now we have Tucker going over talking to Putin.
Fuck that. Who cares about what he's doing?
Who cares what Russia does?
AJ, you believe and understand all the conspiracies that America has been a part of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The psyop
I'm saying
bullshit,
the moon
right?
landing.
Listen.
Not it.
Listen.
Not it.
You know about Northwoods.
Yes.
You know about Paperclip.
Yes.
You know about MK Ultra.
Yes.
You know about all of these programs that they've done.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, but on the moon, you're unshakable, unmovable.
How many of those did they
Hitler
publicize?
used toilet paper, so I'm a Nazi.
No, I'm just saying it's funny. It's funny to me because you're so set. I'm not mad.
No,
at you.
I've researched it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've done the research. We went to the fucking moon, guys. It'd be
how-
more expensive to fucking fake it. They looked
how
into
much of the crazy, just unethical, disgusting shit that our government has done
Yes.
have they publicized, made a big deal about? It's like you're going to draw in people, doubters about it. Like the CIA discovered the spirit realm. They straight up confirmed that they discovered the spirit realm.
They have remote viewers.
Russia
They do.
independently confirmed this as well without knowing that the CIA was researching it. I'm very excited for what if Alt History's video.
Dude, remote viewing is real. We can
on
talk
it.
about it.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
But
We're getting close.
that
to
shit-
anyways,
for
that
now,
shit
so you guys
just
shut the fuck up and let us talk.
leaked. That got declassified. That's as big a deal as the moon landing. But we publicized the crap out of the moon landing because we wanted people to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. We did.
And
It was a way to
it's
unite your
just-
country and go, look, we're doing good. We're doing good. The money we spent on this shit, okay, we can talk about the NASA budget and stuff. Look, we beat the Russians. We're better.
Yeah,
It was a way to say we're better. It was fucking Cold War, dude. It
Ian's got something
Yeah.
to say.
was a morale booster.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Ian's
Ian.
got something to say.
Yeah, add another layer to that, and think about how much money. Like it's a perfect distraction for the public, and think about how
Yes.
much money they were able to get the public to totally be cool with just dumping all this money into this program.
Correct.
And then you just film it on a set, and it costs you a fraction, like a literal fraction of how much money you just gypped the taxpayer out of.
So
Yeah,
they
that's where
filmed
I
it
got to
on a set.
disagree. They looked into it at that time. The technology, the sound stages, everything you would need to make that as believable as that video was, to make it indiscernible from a real video on the moon, would have cost more American dollars to produce that video than to actually fly to the moon. I'm not kidding. It's been done. They've done the
And
math. All right.
if they did all of the
on the
did all of that, why
dude,
did they
CGI is so much better
why
now.
did they
It's so much better.
commission a specific camera? They contracted a company to make a camera that could handle the ranges of the temperature of the moon, and
Yeah.
they still do have that exact camera that was used on the
Okay.
first lunar
All right,
landing
guys,
at
we're
the
done. We're done
Smithsonian.
talking about the moon landing now.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it.
Bro,
later.
they flew
We're-
there, landed, and then filmed
just
it, and
can't-
we're like,
can't
"What
stop.
up, Russia? Fuck
Uh,
off!"
They did say they did conveniently lose almost everything related.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Including the film?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
mean like after they got back to Earth, it's been misplaced?
it's gone.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure it's not valuable, right? Come on,
Anyway.
guys.
Anyway,
They lost moon rocks. They had the conspiracy theorists will tell you the moon rocks are fake because when they tested it later, the one that fucking Buzz Aldrin brought back was fake. Yeah, they switched it and sold the real one. That shit's fucking priceless.
okay,
They went there 6 times.
we're gonna end this. We're gonna end this show by dunking on Britain because why not?
Oh,
That's
here we
how
go.
we should do it. Recently, a British historian is discussing America's gun culture. He called America one nation under guns and says that our gun culture is toxic and deadly.
You're gonna give you all riled up and then bring this shit up?
Yes.
One nation under guns.
One
That is
nation
a
under guns,
based
and that
slogan.
our gun culture is toxic and deadly. Now,
Oh.
I want to
Bad
reiterate.
guys.
I want to reiterate that England, in itself, a tiny island compared to America, is smaller than the size of Texas, much smaller. And let me tell you, London, especially the East End, has more stabbings than anywhere else in the entire world. This no gun having, guns are bad, guns are toxic. One nation under God, under guns is toxic gun culture. A country has more stabbings than anywhere else in the world.
The Packies put guns in trees.
What?
The Packies put guns in trees.
So, think.
There's
Britain,
a fight. They just run
um,
the tree and grab it out.
I want to make it very clear on this show, Britain. We fought a war against you, in 1700s.
May you remembered it.
That yeah, you may have remembered it. We won, by a great margin. Actually, we set you packing. We told you would no longer live under your money. That includes your dumb fucking historians that shouldn't open their mouth about our culture in the United States. This is our culture. It's not your culture. We don't give a shit what you have. You have to have a license, yearly renewed, to own a television in Britain. Okay?
That's
I
insane.
don't care what you have to say about my country. You guys have the English medical service there, which is, hey, you got cancer. We'll see you in 16 months when we have room for you. Okay? You guys have TV licenses. You are talking about outlawing knives. Legitimately.
London's
at
done,
least the
by the
Canadian
way.
medical service does the service of killing you
Yes.
rather than just letting you
I
suffer.
don't give a shit what any British historian has to say about the United States. The only thing that matters when a British historian is talking about the United States is that we kicked your fucking ass, dude. And we don't have to deal with your tyrannical monarchy bullshit in the United States because of that. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that we're perfect. I'm not saying this country is perfect. Okay. We have our own problems and we need to fix them. But we're not England. We're not getting stabbed in the streets of Iowa because I carry a gun everywhere. I don't have to have a license because I have about 6 TVs in this house. Can you imagine having to have a license for every TV renewed yearly? Guess what? I just put my TV up and I don't give a shit what they say. Okay. It's gotten really bad to the point of where, the law in England, and let's not forget that there's literally a camera on every corner in England too. They're watching.
So sad.
So this British historian can pretty much kiss my red, white, and blue ass. I don't know. How do you feel like?
Well, all I got to say is we're from Iowa, where our sheriffs get pulled into federal court because they had an illegal machine gun. That is Adair,
based.
Iowa. Maybe once we'll look that up.
What is it?
Sheriff Went. He
Oh, in Adele?
he owned a gun store in Denison, and so he's allegedly he was finagling purchases of machine guns for demonstration purposes on their department.
Right, which you're allowed.
He
to
tried to get a GE a Gatling gun, a minigun.
Yeah.
He tried to get a minigun. He had a $60,000 deposit ready for it, and they're like, "Can you tell us why you guys need a minigun in Adair, Iowa, where you have 2 officers?" And he's like, "Well, I'd love to see the word for word writing on this." He sent an email saying basically, criminals are heavily armed these days, and we might need that for. I'm not kidding.
They're gonna put that.
I want to
shit-
get a hold of that. Yeah, I want to get a hold of that email.
Bro, they were gonna put that shit on the back of a horse carriage, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
he
fuck-
was going to put it on his personal Humvee.
That's sad.
He has a Humvee to replace a previously emplaced machine gun.
And you live in.
This
live
man
over
is a-
there somewhere. Where
this
you're
man
allowed
is
to
a
have lot of guns.
legend.
He's a hero. He's the coolest cop ever.
What do you
What was
think of
that?
one nation under
we
guns
gotta
for a
ask-
presidential slogan?
Ian, you live in a state that allows you to have.
Well, yeah, you can own machine guns. You can't. Let's see. So it's basically just under the federal law that you can buy
Prior to
the grandfather
1986.
in ones. Yeah. But I mean, as far as like open carry is completely legal. There's been a lot of push to infringe on certain things, and they're trying to make it where private businesses can put up a little sign that says no guns here. And even if you're concealed carrying, you can be legally, if they like detect it in a metal detector or whatever, and they discover a gun on you, they can actually hold you legally liable, and take you to court and stuff. So
Trying to pass one of those dumb laws. We don't have that now, thankfully. They can just kick you out of the.
Yeah, I mean, it's relatively free in Nevada still. I mean, I open carry personally, but it's still pretty base state for the most part. But there's we're right next to California.
Well, and you also have one county.
Where's he at? What state
He
is
lives in
that?
Nevada.
Oh, Nevada. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
you also have one of the one county, right? County that always going to California.
Yeah, and that's where Ron Paul famously was up against what's his name? Damn it. The white-haired dude, the old politician. He was the Speaker of the House, I think, under Clinton's administration.
Newt Gingrich.
Newt
Newt
Gingrich.
Gingrich, yeah. Where he was famous, him and Ron Paul were kind of going at it in as far as voting in the primaries in Nevada, and that was in Clark County where a lot of shenanigans went on.
Which is funny because Ron Paul actually did very good in Nevada.
Yeah, he had a lot of support.
Nevada and Iowa. He basically won the caucus, and they didn't put him on the fucking news, dude. Yeah, they didn't even put his name in the figures.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
I personally think he won it in Clark County. But I think there were some shenanigans going on there. That's just my opinion.
Well, there was, and the GOP was. I mean, it wasn't just the mainstream media. I talk about my part of that campaign in 08. They had our caucus members side of caucuses, places like, the GOP did. They had them locked out and arrested. And the GOP changed their national convention to exclude Ron Paul delegates.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was
Wow.
absolutely. And they fought Ron Paul tooth and nail to get Mitt
Oh,
Romney
yeah.
in there. Literally.
Mitt Romney.
Oh, yeah.
Mitt Romney, dude. That's who they wanted. Mitt Romney. Fucking Mitt Romney, dude.
Not Alden, the Jewish dude, the casino owner in Clark County, where he had some casinos, the billionaire that supported Trump. That guy actually, he actually wanted Newt Gingrich to win the primary there, which is kind of weird.
It was I don't know. He wasn't as bad as Mitt Romney. I would have taken Newt Gingrich.
Yeah.
Romney. There's no doubt
At least
about
he's
it.
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Level Zero, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. We are one nation, as it should be.
Hell yeah.
Guns.
Guns and God, man. Those are my two. I know some of you guys may not agree with me on the gun God thing. I know we find common.
Oh,
ground
yeah.
thing.
Can we talk about KC real quick? Kind of
Yes,
just on
yeah,
that
we
gun
can have a
issue?
little bit of
Okay.
talk. I think Ian's only got about 4 minutes left
Okay,
until he's got to
okay.
go. So yeah, you want to Casey? Go ahead.
I think we should just say something about how I'm getting so fucking sick of. There's a mass shooting, and there. By the way, there's no definition for mass shooting. It depends on what you want to call it. Is it 4 or more people? Is it 2? Is it multiple shooters? Do people have to die? Are they just injured? Are they hit?
It's
It's
I think
all
it's
kinds of
three-
different shit.
3 or more.
The,
shots.
Three
that's
or
what the
more-
FBI
FBI
uses, I
calls
believe.
it, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or more people shot in one shebang, right? I mean,
Which by the way happens in Chicago every week.
Chicago, it's 20 a day. Okay, just to be clear. So they're only focusing on certain, mass crimes. So this happened in KC. It was at the Kansas City Chiefs victory parade,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Victory rally. So who's pissed off at this thing?
Terrible white nationalists.
Who's gonna get pissed off at this thing?
Three
So
white nationalists.
Yeah,
took
right.
guns and attacked the.
So they pick up 3 guys, right? We all know probably what the
I've seen the pictures.
what they look like.
They were
here.
all white
And
nationalists. Yeah.
The one guy, he's wearing all red, dude. Like he's got red sweatpants,
Oh, yeah.
a red sweatshirt. Gosh, I wonder what gang he's with.
Yeah.
So CBS described it as a misunderstanding between some fans.
20 people shot.
20 people shot, 1 dead.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, when this maybe in a week or so,
Did
when
you
this kind
see-
of dies out, this is going to be a gang fucking dispute.
There's no doubt it was a gang. There was a gang fight.
Oh, there
That's
he
exactly
is.
what it was.
Right?
Hey, did you see what the news said
Interesting.
about the one death?
Oh.
They were in surgery and died during surgery. And
Wow.
and the news said the investigation on how they died is still.
Oh my.
I was like, you got to be kidding me, dude. That is the worst
So people
reporting I've ever
had a
seen.
misunderstanding,
Yeah.
and guns were drawn, and there were bullets flying. But listen,
was a
guys,
woman that
it's
died,
the
too.
guns. It's not murderers. It's not letting federal parolees on the street to go back to their gangs and hustle.
There's no doubt
That
that it was.
has nothing to do with it.
There was no doubt that it was a
No.
gang altercation. in my opinion.
Yeah.
No doubt whatsoever. And here's the fucked up thing: gangs are so bad. You know who died? A DJ, a woman DJ at the party.
Of course, it's
died. Nobody else
their
died.
kids were hit too. There's like
Yeah.
I think 10
Yes.
kids or
Yeah,
something.
several kids hit. Okay?
Um,
Guess who didn't
Yeah.
die? Guess who didn't die? The gangbangers.
Yep.
But I will say this: I'm very, very proud of some of the residents of Kansas City during this.
Yep,
There's
they did some
video.
tackles. They tackled some guys.
tackled
Yep.
one of the shooters. Literally took him down on the ground and sat on him until cops shot
Dude
him.
was still armed. He had a gun.
All
He was tackled to the ground. The gun was loose, and the wife of one of the guys
Picked
walked
up the
over
gun.
and picked up the
Yep.
gun and took the gun away.
Yes.
Paul
Kept it safe.
Contrius is I believe is the guy's name that tackled him. I want to try and get him on the show.
That'd be
if we
That'd be
can.
a good
cool,
one to have
but
on the show, yeah.
it's evidence that hey, we're fucking done with this shit.
Yeah.
We're tired of it.
I will say this: I rail a lot about kind of mash.
Yeah.
This was not a gun free. Kansas City is, in fact, the entire state of Missouri.
Yep.
So I have to believe that a lot of people did not have weapons on them at this parade. Maybe there was some kind of an ordinance put in place that said they couldn't have weapons. I don't know.
I don't know about
I was
that.
down
Yeah.
there for the
don't know.
draft last year, and the whole, pretty much the whole time, I was thinking, this would be a very good area to target, and I should I should have brought my weapon
Yeah, I
with
carry
me and
everywhere I
carried.
go. I don't give a shit. Like I said at the Jordan Creek Mall here in Iowa,
Mhm.
they have a little tiny sticker at the very bottom left corner of the door. That's a nose sign with a red line through it, and it has a hammer fired pistol. So I don't bring my Beretta. I bring the because it's
Yeah.
a center. It's center
Yeah.
fire. It's not. You
I
know,
love those.
Yeah. So I don't know.
When it's a
Nice.
1911, you're like, whoo, whoo,
Yeah.
Glock. I got a
Yeah,
Glock.
yeah, they
We're
didn't.
good.
Sweet. I didn't bring my Beretta. I'm good. I don't got to go in naked. Ian, what's this look like on your side of the country? We're just 2 hours away from Kansas City. So people are talking about it. You even see? I haven't even really seen much in the news on it. Have you?
I don't watch the news. I mean, I gave up on the news years ago. I pretty much pay attention to social media. I mean, all I'm seeing is basically pretty base takes. I mean, it's like, yeah, some idiot shot up, basically started shooting people, or some idiots, apparently, I guess it's plural. And bad people with guns, they're going to be there regardless of what the laws are, regardless of whether you disarm good people. I mean, it's like, why are there gang members and why are they shooting each other in public places? If that's the case, as you stated.
I have some breaking news.
Breaking news.
I think it's under 24 hours. It was breaking, we'll call it. Mayor Brandon Johnson, this is Mayor Chicago, right? Ends the use of Shot Spotter in Chicago. Shot Spotter is a high-tech system that alerts and directs cops when gunshots are fired in Chicago. Critics say it targets minorities.
Well, shit.
The contract expires on Friday, but Mayor Johnson is keeping it until after the DNC convention in the summer.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Got to have it for the DNC convention, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah,
And then
that
you're
racist,
free to
that
get shot.
racist, that terrible
Yeah.
racist program that lets us know when people are shooting guns in the street.
Yep.
Terrible.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
So gangsters are cheering. They're going to have to wait till after the DNC convention in the summer. But yeah, this summer's going to be lit in Chicago, I have a feeling. That was brought to you on X by End Wokeness.
Hey, Squared Mo from Twitch says my side profile. I hear that a lot. I tell people that Sal is my much fatter twin brother all the time. All the time. He's way fatter than I am. And he's way gayer than I am.
I see it.
Yeah, I get it a
Which
lot.
is a monumental feat, by the way.
Yeah, you got to be
Sal
way
the
gayer.
Agorist?
No, Sal from Impractical Jokers.
Oh,
You know, have you ever watched that show, Impractical Jokers?
no, I have not.
It's actually a really
It's a
fun
great show.
Yeah.
All right, Ian. I know you got to get going. I know you got somewhere to be tonight, but before we get going, where can people follow you, support you, listen to you, all those good things?
Yeah, Ian, the letter B, last name Gallagher. That's my real name, unfortunately, on Twitter or X. Yeah, come if you want to follow. I'm, nothing crazy. I don't do anything special. I kind of screw around on my little farm and have some hot takes and like to piss people off. And
Farmers are the best.
well, I mean, it's my life dream. But how do you pay the bills on that? So, but yeah,
Our goal as a family is, man, last year it was like big reality. By farm, holy shit, these prices have heard. Last
It's
year
rough.
I was finding 7 acres structures with 3 barns and a cornfield
wow.
for 700. Yeah. Now it's like 1 point. I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's crazy, man. Ian, we appreciate you, man, coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us and going over some of these topics. I know
fun.
these guys here like to bulldoze our guests.
Yeah,
all the
thanks,
time
dude.
and
That was
fucking
fun.
assholes.
It's all good.
No, we definitely appreciate you coming on. Hey, if you guys are out there, go follow my good friend Ian at on Twitter. And if you're watching us, I don't know where you're watching us. We're on
Probably on Rumble.
yeah, probably on Rumble. We're on Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Kick now as well. It's like the new Twitch. It's like a new Twitch, but it lets you keep 5% of what. It's super dope, and we're restreaming to a bunch of different places. So if you're watching this, subscribe wherever you're watching this, and then go subscribe to the YouTube too, because we need that algorithm to get us out to all the places. But also on Rumble, we're gonna try and grow that Rumble channel. We had 50,000 views on Rumble last show.
We've fluctuated between about 150 and 200 live viewers the whole time. We're on the front page.
Oh, they put
For
our
the live
live on
show.
the front page.
Yeah, we're one of the biggest live channels right now. We're like 11th or something.
Holy shit, dude. That's
And then
crazy.
we're also
I hope
in-
you had fun, Ian. You know, when
Yeah,
you were
we're
hanging
also
out.
in the editor's picks. We have over 2,000 views in the episode
Fucking
already.
go.
Damn, what's up, Ian?
All right.
We really owe a big shout out to Nick from Rumble, because he's been standing for us, and I appreciate that guy a lot. I think he knows that we've been doing the show for a while and put a lot into the show, so we appreciate it. But Ian, man, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I know you got to run. We appreciate you. We'll have you back on sometime, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace out. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, brother. Yep, take it easy.
Yep, later, dude.
Another awesome episode in the. Yeah, I just want to reiterate what I said going into that last segment. The British can kiss my ass, my entire ass. I don't give a fuck. Listen, I live in Iowa, dude. We can carry machine guns in our backpacks.
I get big mad when it's
with
British
the British.
people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see the irony here?
Like, go fix your fucking
Yeah.
teeth, bitch.
Ugh.
Don't talk about.
I was gonna say you
I
can't
want you
even
to, don't
maintain
walk
your
about-
teeth. Why are you telling us about guns?
Yeah, that's cool. That sucks. That's too bad that that it doesn't show us the live Rumble chat on.
Well, nobody really chats in it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It's not a big
We've
chat
had 2
platform.
comments and like 2 live chats, and
Yeah.
both of them have been spam links about some sort of famous person being a pedophile.
Oh yeah.
Which, you know what? If
Probably
if
true.
you're gonna try and bait us, I respect the
Yeah,
absurdity.
I respect that one. It's probably true. You know, that's probably true. You know, they're these elites, these rich elite politicians, Hollywood, academia, they're all fucking pedophiles. Don't make me tap the sign. They're all Satanists that just want to diddle kids, dude. You know what I mean? And I mean that. I hate them. I hate them so much. They you know, who was it? Oh, when I was on Stu earlier, he said they actually just. And I was like, yes, he's right. I love Stu. Stu's my spirit animal, by the way. If you guys weren't here in the beginning, if you guys weren't here in the beginning, I will be on Stu Peters' show tomorrow, talking about foreign influence in U.S. politics and also World War III. Stu, who I respect and love, savage. We need more brave people like Stu. And he told me that we need a million Josh. That one struck a chord with me. And I did say, you got to be brave. It's time to be brave. You're going to be called an anti-Semite, dude. You're going to be called a racist. You're going to be called all of these names. And it's all a cudgel to shut down. It's all a cudgel to shut down your speech, to shut down your ideas. But the truth is that no army can stop an idea whose time has come. And you have to be brave. More so now than ever in your life. Time to be brave, dog. Time to step up and start saying things the way they are, because next stop is the FEMA camp, bro. I believe that. I totally believe that's where we're going next if we don't start pushing back now. And you can find me selling loose cigarettes at the FEMA camp, telling you I told you so.
I just watched an Eric Garner video today.
Oh shit!
did.
Fuck, dude. I forgot. I didn't even think about Eric Carter when I said that. I'm literally selling you loose cigarettes.
Yeah, it was on.
I'm going to be selling them.
My lawn episode, but that's a libertarian thing. He was selling loosey cigarettes,
Yeah.
and so it's actually a communist policy killed Eric Garner.
That makes sense.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
the mayor said, "Hey, I don't want these loosies being sold. I don't want the
And he
insurance
wanted-
style jumpers, whatever it was."
Yeah.
But Lucy cigarettes,
He can't make
they
tax
had
money off that.
they came down from that department and said, "Hey, we got to crack down on these guys." Why?
Ryan, you got anything before we take off?
Follow us on Rumble. I wanna see. If,
Yeah, subscribe to our Rumble. If you're watching this
wanna
on Rumble, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on
Yep.
the channel. We need
Yeah,
more followers.
I believe it's called following on Rumble.
Following on Rumble. Yeah.
Yes, I want to see how quickly our Rumble following can overtake our YouTube subscribers.
Which is now at almost 6,000.
Yes. So Rumble people, get on
Oh,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
there we are.
We would love to become exclusive to Rumble at some point. If you can grow our platform big enough, we would we'd be more exclusive. Do at least more exclusive shows on Rumble.
Yeah.
But we would like to make that our biggest platform and get away. AJ, you got anything before we go?
We have 205 people watching on.
Yeah, dude. I know
Dope.
we're on the front page.
Follow me on X poison_tip. Same for Instagram.
Yeah.
Same thing for Instagram. Poison_tip.
He'll give you all the blue pilled space.
AJ's
takes.
Instagram is just
Yeah.
nothing but
hey,
him
if you think we
posing
landed on the
in
moon
camo
and you're
yoga pants.
based, and you think astronauts are fucking ballsy, follow me.
Yeah.
Or you can hang out with these freaks who
Yeah.
think we never went there.
We didn't. Well, maybe we have now.
Unbelievable.
We're gonna bring Top Lobster on to argue this with you. I'm gonna bring. You
Bring
know what
him
I'm gonna
on.
do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring Owen Benjamin and Top Lobster on at the same time. to
Dude,
talk to you
Owen
about this.
Benjamin's a tall motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
I'll just.
I'm not gonna
I'll
drink
just
if he
stay
comes.
home for that one.
Yeah, I want
I
to
won't
be
get a
able to
word
throw
in.
hands if Owen comes. He's a big guy.
He's my size. Not that big.
You
About six-
sure?
yeah, he's
I thought the dude's like
6'3".
7 feet tall.
No, I think he's like 6'3". I don't think he's that big.
I think he's a
6'2".
big fucking dude. I thought he was like 6'6".
Oh, maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah, Benjamin's a fucking. He's a Sasquatch.
Oh, well,
Don't bring him in person.
guys, we'll see you again for a new show on Tuesday. I think Monday night. I'll be streaming games again. If you follow us on Twitch, let's see, Twitch, Kick, or YouTube is where I put out the gaming content. So I'll be streaming some game. We did Resurgence last night. I've been having problems with the remote view, but I have a now that will fix that. And so we'll be follow us on all platforms. We're on Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, all good things. What else? Kick. Odyssey. We are live on Odyssey
yep.
as well. So just follow us wherever you're at, follow us. And then follow us at the YouTube at youtube.com/the despots. We're going to fight. We're going to fight and see if Rumble or YouTube grows faster. We're going to fight it, see what happens. Big shout out to my buddy Nick putting us on the front page again. We'll be back for an all-new show on Thursday. If you're listening to this podcast tonight, 2/15/2024, you're welcome. I finally figured out how to start recording these shows so that we can put them up on the podcast feed immediately following the podcast. So you guys will get that content right after. Next week, I'm going to start doing after-hour shows again. We'll be going live until 10 or 10:30. So we'll have the 1.5 to 2 live show and then a hour-long show after. You can become a member at the Patreon or the Subscribe Star. Both of those are /BreakTheCycle.js, or you can join the YouTube channel by hitting join under it. Then you will get content. Gonna start streaming like for real, boys. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. But Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse. In Minecraft, just in Minecraft. You're nothing I mean, you know it. No product dinners, cause it closed from COVID. Holy shit, I think I'm poor.